Hey, Coach, how you
How you
doing?
doing? I'm doing well, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kenny Anderson, head coach of Fisk. Coach, first things first, how are you? How's everybody doing during this pandemic?
Oh man, just a trying time right now, but everybody's getting it together. Um, just waiting to see what we're gonna do. Each day it's a trying time. Period, man. Period.
It truly is, especially with the election right around the corner.
Yep.
We're still dealing with systematic racism and
Yep.
social injustices. Coach, how are you in like with everything that you're doing on the college level? How are you being able to instill into your players how necessary it is that they still maintain sanity?
We have Zoom calls every other like once a week, and I try to talk to these guys about their growth as young men, um, not just basketball players. And I just tell them all the things that I've been through in my life, and hopefully most of those guys are listening, and taking a great pride into what I'm saying, and doing the right things in life. And right now, it's a tough time on not just me, on everyone to learn, and I'm learning at 50 years old. So it takes time, but I think we'll get it.
What has this pandemic taught you about yourself that you didn't really know before?
Man, the pandemic has taught me, like, first of all, my family. The family life has really been a blessing. I took some time out to understand the strengths. My son is a JUCO player, and my daughter goes to Fisk. She's a sophomore. She's doing well, and my wife, and just understanding just my family has really been important in my life right now, and just understanding, about the whole ordeal, life in general. And that's my how I was brought up. It's much different now on how my kids are brought up, and it's something I have to learn. Something I had to learn.
You are a coach now at Fisk University. What made you decide to take on that coaching job?
Oh, it was, coaching was always in me. My high school coach Jack Curran, who passed away about 12, about 8 years ago. I always wanted to coach, and then when this opportunity came, knocked on my door, it was a blessing, and not just I didn't want to start on D1, D2. I wanted to start somewhere real low, NAIA level, and try to reach these young men. And when Fisk came calling, I was like, I was thrilled, that the president and everybody, gave me that option to coach on this level. So it's just been a ongoing situation here at Fisk. I'm learning. I'm learning each day about the game of not so much basketball, but the administration part of it. I had to learn, and I learned a lot of. I'm learning, and it's a blessing.
I
And
believe Fisk.
HBCU has been great, and that's what it's basically doing. HBCU is heading. I think it's heading in the right direction now with for all this all everything we're going through in life.
Yeah, I was actually getting ready to hit on that. With it being an HBCU, do you
Yeah,
feel that more players will be compelled to come to HBCUs now?
yeah, I hope so. Under the circumstances, and yes, being with Kenny Anderson, who played in the league, and most of these guys want to play in the NBA. I played in the league for 14 years. Went to a great college, Georgia Tech, ACC. Played in New York City. Who better than me? you know,
Yeah.
who better than me to get these guys going in the right direction? And I say it again, not so much basketball, but just life in general.
Yeah, and there's no way I can have you on here without hitting on your career. You played in arguably the toughest era of basketball. What was it like playing in the NBA during the 90s?
Oh, it was tough. It was tough. Hand checking rules. You know what I'm saying? Now they change it up. It's mainly fan friendly. It's great talent. You know, but in the '90s it was tough basketball. It was New Jersey Nets. I played with Drazen Petrovic, Derek Coleman. Cleveland had Mark Price. Brad Doherty, Larry Nance, the Knicks with Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, Derek Harper, Orlando with Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway, then Bulls had Jordan, Pippen. It was great competition. And then out west we had Hakeem Olajuwon. So it was awesome. It was awesome.
What was it like playing with Drazen in those Nets teams that were really good in the 90s during you guys' playoff years?
Oh man, Drazen was a great shooter, great competitor. Just was learning the ropes of the NBA. First coming with Portland Trailblazers when he wasn't playing a lot. They had their backcourt with Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter. So he moved on to the Nets. And when he got with the Nets, he was on fire, and we used him extremely coming off screens, getting open shots. He just knew how to play the game the right way. He was just a great player.
Do you feel that the guard play in the 90s was much better than the guard play that is today? Because back then you guys had a chance to really facilitate but get yours, but now it seems like everything is 3-point savvy.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say better, but we understood the game better. Now it's more talent, they're more talented, more bigger, physical. We was physical, but it's just I don't want to say better, but we understood the game a lot better. Now I guess now guys are just playing off sheer talent and very tall, very tall. You in the league 6'5", 6'6", is great. The 2 3s is bigger now, and we was more fundamentally sound. Now it's just real guys are just so big and talented.
I think because you guys back in the day, it wasn't so much a guard oriented league where it is now.
Yes.
Would you have liked to played in this era?
If I had played in this era, it would be real fun. I wouldn't be injured as much. I probably try 25 a night. It would be much easier for me. No hand checking rules and things of that nature. But it was great when I played in the league, and I'm just so grateful and thankful that I was able to play 14 years in the NBA. And, it just was awesome. And now the game is awesome for all the fans to watch the games. I'm excited. I love the game, the NBA game, but I really love coaching on the college level. The guys that, trying to ball out and learn the game, I can give them that. I think a lot of pros, it's coaching is more just directing, instead of really coaching, and that's what I feel about the NBA. It's good to watch, but I really wouldn't want it. Me, I wouldn't want to coach it. I love coaching on a college level.
Yeah, because it seems like in college you could be a little bit more hands-on with them. You could develop them, and you can help them out. And speaking about college, you had a great run at Georgia Tech. You guys made it to the Final Four. Tell me about your college years. Like what was that like for you?
Oh, my college years was great, man. I still stay in touch with most of the guys. We had Lethal Weapon 3, myself, Dennis Scott, Brian Oliver, played with Malcolm Mackey, Johnny McNeil, Carl Brown, Brian DeMont. That was my team. We went to the Final Four. We lost to UNLV, but it was just a great team. And I say team because we was always together, throughout our run. We learned a lot about ourselves and about competing. And we competed in the ACC, which was the toughest conference back then when I played. We had Duke, NC State, Virginia, Clemson. Everybody, it was just a tough conference, and we won it that year. So it was exciting.
Did you bring any of that New York style basketball to Georgia Tech? Because, you grew up there and, you had a phenomenal career playing out there as well.
Yeah, I would think so. Everybody, I brought that flair down to Atlanta, New York flair down to Atlanta. And they wanted it, they had it, with John Sally with the Georgia Tech. He was from Canarsie, but I was dribbling. I was the guard, you know what I'm saying? So I had to bring it there, and I did a hell of a job at Georgia Tech for 2 years there. I got my I was watching the other night, my career. I got my the career scoring leader. I scored 50 against LMU, and it still stands, at Georgia Tech. So it was just awesome, man. I saw my little self just shooting the three, penetrating, passing, just doing everything. I was like, wow, that's me.
It's amazing how you just sit back and like reflect and you're like, wow,
Yeah,
like this is what we did. Like you
yeah,
came from arguably the greatest state of basketball, like the mecca
yeah,
of basketball,
yeah.
New York guards like yourself, Mark Jackson, Kenny the Jet Smith. Did you guys realize even back then that you guys had something special even playing there?
No, we just played. It was a way out. It was a way out for me, and I thank everybody that helped me. To help me and my mother. To come out of Left Rack City, Queens. I love all my fans. That supported me. It was just a way out, and I like. I told the story. My mentor told me, he's like, your mother can't pay for college. How you gonna go for college? You got to use this basketball to take you there, and that's all I needed to hear. I started doing my schoolwork. I started playing. I got into Archbishop Malloy High School, was one of the toughest high schools academically in America. Um, and Howie Lawrence was a cab driver and a Con Edison worker, and he paid my high school tuition, and I will never forget that. Rest in peace, Howie. I love you. Um, and that's where it started at Archbishop Moore High School. Started for me, and I started really understanding the game, and just not so much the game of basketball, but the game of life. And it really helped me. It really helped me. It subjected me to the way I try to help some of these young men that I'm coaching now at Fisk University.
You got player of the year there. You go on to Georgia Tech, get drafted in the NBA, you play 14 years, and now you're coaching. Out of all of the players that you coach, how many of them would you recommend? You know what? If you take it serious, you really can make it to the next level, which is the NBA.
I'm not none right now. The NBA is different, but overseas you could play. But I'm trying to get that one NBA player, that I could get at Fisk University, and it might take some time. It might be extremely hard to get, but it's very gratifying for me to be coaching these young men to better themselves, not only as athletes, but as great students and great fathers and great husbands. And that's what I'm about.
You continue to talk about, just teaching these young men and being like a mentor, father
Yeah.
figure. And, I'm going to give a shout out to a mentor of mine, Chris Broussard from Fox Sports, who told me to tell you hi, by the way.
Oh, tell him I said what's up, man. He's great. I always listen to him. Makes a lot of sense. And one thing about me, and when I'm growing up, and my coaches and my mentor Vincent Smith, I never took nothing personal, with reporters. Never, because they had a job to do. And my mother said, if you give them ammunition, if you out doing dirt, they're gonna write dirt about you. So be careful. So I never really, gave anybody, now guys I see and I hear, on social media, they don't like certain people. They don't like. A guy was just out there doing his job, and you was out there doing wrong, and he put you out there. So, that's just how it was, man. Just, you know, it was awesome.
Yeah, I could definitely tell, but I definitely wanted to, shout him out. And along with, I want to make sure that I'm getting this part in here. So this segment is sponsored by our local vending machine company, Ace Vending, the best in the valley. If you need or want a snack or drink machine in your warehouse or business for free, call them ASAP at 216-535-2484. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kenny Anderson on the Chris Gunther Show. Coach, before we get out of here, because I know you got a lot of stuff to do. You're a very busy man. As the season right now, will you guys have a season?
I'm not sure. I'll know in depth later on today. Will we have a season? But I also would love. I forgot to give a shout out to my man Ian Cunningham, who's
Absolutely.
doing my showcase. He's doing a hell of a job on my showcase. We're going in our third year out in Cleveland, and we're trying to get these kids, into college, and not Division I kids. So we're going with the Division II, Division III, the NAIA kids. getting them into schools of their choice on that level. And it's doing, we got 64 kids each year we had, and it's doing great. And going into a third year this year, it's going to be May 27th. We'll be having our third one, and it's going to be awesome.
How much fun is it for you to come back to that showcase and watch them?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. And excuse me, it's May 29th. It's going to be, it's awesome. I love going back, to Cleveland to watch some of these young men perform, and I like talking to those guys. And it was very interesting for me when I first got sick and I came out and I did the showcase my first year and I spoke, and it was really touching to me. All the guys listened, and I don't know, but it was real touching to me, man.
Yeah, it's always a blessing though when you're able to go out there and talk to the kids, and you're able to inspire them to be better and to be greater. If you could teach the kids a few things that you didn't know coming up, what would those things be?
Wow, I knew everything because my mentor, Vincent Smith, he told me everything, man. I didn't know. I'm trying to. Oh man, I right now I'm not I'm not sure. Oh, financial literacy. That's one of the big pictures that I've had in my life. I played in the NBA, made a lot of money, and I lost a lot of money. So if anything, it would be financial literacy. You know what I'm saying? That's what he hit me with. And I'm learning as we go. I'm 50 years old, so it takes some time to learn. I was always doing for others. That's just something, that my mother did. And I thought, I could do it also. And I've been doing it, but it's a certain amount of that you have to understand you could do and you can't do.
That's right. That is 100% right. Especially in nowadays when people assume just because you played in the NBA that you got buku money and you still are a human being and you got bills like everybody else got, bills. But Coach, before we get up out of here, can you give us a little bit more information? Like before we get out of here, can you give us a little bit more information about the showcase that you have, and along with, where you're coaching at, if anybody wanted to follow you?
I'm coaching here in Tennessee, Fisk University. Can I have my guy join in real quick?
Absolutely.
Ian Cunningham, who runs my showcase. Let him talk a little bit about my showcase real quick.
Yeah, that's all good.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, Ian? First things first, man. I'm glad y'all got beards. Brother. Welcome to the beard game.
Yeah, beer gang all day, right? Yeah, so
yeah, man.
Kenny, I got inspired to start the showcase off of the documentary by Jill Campbell called Mr. Chibbs. It inspired me just to see the life of Kenny, what he went through. I didn't even know Kenny Anderson before I actually watched the documentary, but watching it, wanted to just reach out to him. So I reached out to him, and we were able to connect. And when he found out what was it all about how I wanted to do a free basketball showcase, he was like, that's amazing. That's what I'm about. I'm about giving back. As you just heard him probably say, he's always about trying to give. And so we came across each other, obviously by a documentary film, which is a must see. I don't know if you guys talked about it or not, but everyone should get out and watch Mr. Chibbs, The Life of Kenny Anderson, because you'll be inspired by who he is as a human being first, basketball second. At the end of the day, we all are human beings in life. We all have things that we're good at and things like that, but it's beyond what you're good at. It's who you become as a man or a woman or whoever you are that is really what can be inspirational to so many people. And so I took that from who he was as a human being and the stuff that he went through in the past. And I said, let's do something. Let's do it for the kids at the small school level, especially when I found out he was at Fisk University. And so we're going on our third year, and it's free for these kids. We get it all through donations. We get these kids out here. They perform doing drills, games, all done in front of these kids. Gets a perform in front of college coaches to try to be, athletes. They want to be student athletes though. So the thing that Kenny and I always talk about, student comes first before, the athlete, because like he said, he's learning about what it takes to be, a man, and he's being a leader now at this school at Fisk University. And so we're going on our third year. We have 64 young men that are going to be coming. We've got nominations coming in as we speak. You can Kenny Anderson Showcase page on Instagram. These kids can send in or to either he or my Twitter account, send in these nominations. We want kids that are, students first, but aren't getting recruited by the big schools, but want to go to college, want to, be someone successful outside of, basketball. They want to be doctors, lawyers, accountants, police, anything you can do to give back to communities. We want those type of kids. And so we work together, and it's May 29th, 2021. And there's also, we might be doing something even in the future with like a combine camp where Kenny brings kids from all over the country. It's a 2-day event where it's not in place yet, but we're talking about it. A 2-day event where there'll be college coaches there helping train these kids, mentoring these kids for 2 days. Kenny's got an amazing contact list where he can bring in some special guests to speak to these kids and try to influence these kids to make an impact. The showcase is free. The combine, we haven't worked out what we're going to do with that, but we're just trying to get these kids into a better position in life. And, what better person than Kenny Anderson, who's lived it all, and he's had the good days, the bad days. And now, as like he said, he's 50 years old, he gets life now. He'll always tell you basketball is easy. Life is hard. And
Sure
so
is.
we as men want to teach these young men how to become better men. And at the end of the day, that's what you got to do. You got to give back to society.
You do. And I really appreciate the both of you guys for elaborating on that. Ian, appreciate you for coming on here and definitely sharing with us a little bit more. Kenny, last question before
Here
I get up. Kenny,
put him back on.
Got you. So Kenny, last thing before I go ahead and get out of here. I greatly appreciate you and Ian for setting this up. Means the world to me. Last thing, if anybody wanted to connect with you or follow you, how can they do that?
Well, you can follow me through Instagram, Kenny Anderson 73 57 557. And then my you got that?
Can you say that last part? I think you went out.
_1.
Chip _1.
_1.
Got you. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing else needs to be asked. Kenny Anderson on the Chris Gunther Show. Kenny, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this segment is sponsored by our local vending machine company, Ace Vending, the best in the valley. If you need or want a snack or drink in your machine or warehouse for business for free, call them ASAP at 216-535-2484. Kenny Anderson on the Chris Gunther Show. Thank y'all for watching. God bless. See y'all next time.